Hello and welcome to the fourth installment of X-Plane 11 on my channel. In today's episode we're going to be taking a bit of a longer journey with two separate VORs and then ending up on the coast. Should be quite a scenic flight, so I'm going to be showing you a lot of the scenery as we go. And it's just for me to sort of refine how I use VORs and how I'm aiming myself using the CDI here. I'm going to be using the autopilot for most of it. The flight itself is going to take about an hour or so in real time. But for you guys, I'm going to compress that down to about 15-20 minutes or so, depending on how long the takeoffs and landing take. So let's get the battery fired up so that we can see our avionics. We're going to go into our flight plan. And before we do anything else, let me show you the route we're going to take. So, we are where we left off in the last episode at Echo Golf Victor Alpha. There is no traffic on here, we've just had this C90 take off. So, from Echo Golf Victor Alpha, we're going to head down to the VOR Charlie Papa Tango. We are then going to go direct to Mike India Delta, and then onwards to Echo Golf Kilo Alpha, which is on the coast. And that is the Shoreham Airport. So, let's get that programmed into our flight computer. I need to detach this and get the map set up on my second screen. Right, so let's get this programmed into our flight plan. So, we need to go to the next entry, and then we are going to pop in Charlie Papa Tango. Just like before. Charlie Papa Tango, there we go, accept. And then we need to get our VLOC 1 set up correctly to its frequency, which is 11435, which it is. Good. Let me open up Mike India Deltas or Mids VOR frequency, just so I can see that. Okay, and then we pop in mid, so Mike India Delta, which is Midhurst. We're going to go for the VOR in the UK, not in Mexico. Let's accept that. And then I am going to select the second VLOC, I don't know how to say that. And it is 11400. So that is ready to go, pre-programmed. We are then heading down to Echo Golf Kilo Alpha. Is that right? Yes. Echo Golf Kilo Alpha. Shoreham. Enter, accept, and then I will program the VLOC when we get over to when we get over to Charlie Papa Tango. Right, let's get that set up. So we want it on VLOC and on the OBS thing. I don't know what that means, but it works. Throttle is set, battery is on, fuel pump, get that turned on. I need to make a real effort to manage my lights properly this time. Let's get an engine start. There we go. Pop the fuel pump off because we don't need it anymore. Chuck the alternator on though. We want our beacon, landing lights. Actually no, we don't need landing lights just yet. But we want taxi, nav, don't need the strobe, but we do want the pitot heat. Cool, let's chuck the yokes back in place, and let me grab a map of the airfield, because I don't actually know it off the top of my head yet. That's cool. Release the parking brake, and away we go. I'm going to line up on runway 09, and bring you guys back when I'm getting ready for takeoff. Right then, here we are. We're about a third of the way along runway 09. I forgot to set the parking brake. Let's do that. There we go. Ready for our takeoff. So we want to put taxi lights off. Let's get our landing lights on. Pop our strobe on now, because why not? And I believe we're ready to go. Let's get 2 notches of flap. Put the yoke back, and then release the parking brake, and away we go. I'm pretty much already lined up with the VOR. I'm not going to need to do too much. Get full throttle. This thing has such a short takeoff, it's unreal. There's 55, rotate, and up we come. Now, initially I'm going to set the autopilot to vertical speed, and I want a climb rate of 800 feet per second. And then we're going to set it to the nav later. So let's pop the autopilot on. That should, there we go, it's taking over my climb rate. It's using the throttle to, the trim to do so. So let's get myself level. Awesome. Right, let's reduce 1 notch of flap. Oh, no, that was adding 1. Oops, my mistake. I'm going to cruise for this flight at around 5,000 feet. I don't actually know what the clearances are or anything, so that's just what I'm going to choose to use. Right, and now that we're up a little bit higher, let's get rid of that last notch of flap. Zoom out a bit, have a little look around. Quite nice. And now that we are established in our climb, I am going to swap over to nav and let the plane take over. There we are. So the plane is now going to climb us at... oh no, it's swapped over to altitude again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'd love to know. I really would. I want a vertical speed. Let's just go for 700 feet per minute at the moment of climb rate. And yeah, that's going to keep us on heading for our VOR. This does feel a bit cheaty, I guess, but real aircraft have it, so I may as well use it. Let's get this on flight time. How do I reset that? I don't know how to reset the time. Okay, well we're at 120, so whatever we are at the end of the flight, that's what we know how long we've been. We've got plenty of fuel. What's that? 20 gallons. So we're perfectly fine. If I ease back on the throttle, our fuel usage will come right down. And obviously, as we get higher, we should be flying a lot more efficient. But that's pretty much it for now. The plane's going to guide us in on its navigation. It's going to climb us at 700 feet per minute. And we're just going to get closer and closer to Charlie Papa Tango. We are currently 20 miles out exactly. So yeah, if I see any interesting scenery, I'll bring you guys back. But for the most part, I'll probably just skip ahead until I get to Charlie Papa Tango and begin the turn. Right, so here we are. We are now about, what is it, 1.5 miles away from Charlie Papa Tango. So I'm going to get myself ready for the turn. So what I'm going to need to do when we get there is change my V-lock over, my, I don't know what that is. Yeah, my V-lock, that's what I'll call it. And then I need to activate the next leg, because I'm not sure if it'll do it for me. I've had sort of mixed... So yeah, it says DTK 139. So I don't know what DTK means. But yeah, that's so 3, 2, 1. Now, are you going to turn for me? No. Right, so let's swap the VLOC over. It's then going to turn. And I'm going to activate the next leg. So activate leg, enter. There we go. So the autopilot has now corrected itself and it's on its way over. Yeah, so it's nice and easy. This is definitely a lot easier than trying to manually fly it, that's for sure. There are a few different houses over sort of this end of the country. I don't want to zoom in too much in case the game crashes like last time. But yeah, it does look... Some of these houses are pretty alright. They're okay for a flight sim. I can't wait until some decent scenery comes out for it. I know a lot of it is paid. So we'll have to see how that goes. I did forget to turn my landing lights off after takeoff. I realised sort of halfway through that climb. So I popped back in and I turned it off. So yeah, that's pretty much us set up. The only thing I need to do is change the other, so get rid the other VLOC prepped, which is going to be for the final approach. So for Echo Golf Kilo Alpha, let's find out what frequency you are at, which is 109. No, we don't want the com, we want the VLOC, there we go, 109. And then this needs to be on 95. There we go, so that is now prepped for our transition to Echo Golf Kilo Alpha. When we get there, the CDI is showing that we're off. That's because I need to hit the OBS thing. And I have got no idea where it's taking me now. There we are, that's better. So it's just bringing me back on course. Right, sorted. So that's going to carry me down to Mike India Delta, or mid. And I'll just do the same thing again, because this is quite a long leg. So this is 30 nautical miles. So about 1.5 times what we had before. So I'm going to pop the map back up in your view so that you can see it. There are a few airports on the way down. I can count 4 that I might be able to see, possibly 5. So I will keep a good lookout for them. And try to show you them as we go past. Right now, some of you might have seen that we have this Cirrus Vision coming up on us. Let's see what altitude he's at. He's at 10,000. So, I mean, we should be well clear of him, but I'm going to try and spot him. He might be way too high, just out of render distance for us. Trying to spot him. No, he's out of render distance by the looks. Now, I've been looking for the airfields. I think they are just in the distance. Can't see them just yet. This might be one, or that could just be a body of water. I can't quite tell from this distance. Actually, no, I'm telling a lie. There's one right here. So that's going to be Echo Golf 53 on the map. So there's an airport. I'm going to keep this view for a little while, just as we go past it, and then we'll try and spot some others. Here we are then, 2 miles away from Mike India Delta. I have the VLOC set. ready to go. It looks like the next leg is going to be 18 miles. We can already see the coast, so that's looking pretty good over there. I think that might be a boat or a buoy or something out at sea. When we get down to Shoreham, I am going to have a little bit of a fly around the coast and just see what the scenery has to offer down there. It is coming to sort of evening time. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm not quite sure when the sun is supposed to set, but you can see it's getting a little bit hazy out. So hopefully by the time we get to Shoreham, the night should be, or sorry, the evening should be drawing in a little bit, and we might get a little bit of a sunset going on as well. We'll just have to see what happens. Right, we're 0.5 miles away now. Closing in, I'm getting ready to swap over the V-lock, and then we'll activate the next leg. Turn it now, and then activate this leg. Go menu, activate leg, enter. Turn the OBS back on, and then that is going to carry us over. There isn't actually that much of a deviation at all when it comes to it. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. There isn't much of a deviation, it's pretty much a straight line down to Shoreham. So we haven't got too much longer to go. The scenery on the way over, there was some pretty cool segments. I think I got some fairly good shots of them. There was a couple of towns by some lakes, and that was pretty nice. And I do like the actual terrain here where you can see all the hills forming, and the hills over in the distance. It does look very good. The terrain mapping, I'm impressed with that. Not a lot of flight simulators that I've seen have that. Oh, there's a little airfield over there. Let's take a look. Which airfield is that going to be? So that is Echo Golf Tango Delta, just over there. There is a reason why I've picked this airfield, but I'm going to keep it quiet until I show up there, until I get into the area. So, without further ado, let's move on. Right then, I can start to see the runway coming into view. So let's close down the map. The runway is just over here. And when we get closer, I'll show you why I chose this airport in particular. What I need to do, though, is to clear my flight plan, which may sound a bit weird, but the bug that I got at the end of the last episode where I had the GPS runtime error was because we got to the end of our flight plan. Now, for some reason, I'm not sure if it's something that I'm doing or if it's just a bug in the game because it's beta. Whenever you get to the end of your flight plan, or whenever I get to the end of my flight plans, I crash. So, yeah, I got to be a bit careful of it. So I'm going to clear that and hope that it works. So let's go back, click the flight plan button again. And now what I want to do, flick off the autopilot. And we're going to begin our descent down. Now, I'm not going to come in for landing straight away. I'm going to fly along the coast a little bit, see what Shoreham has to offer in the way of scenery. And then I will also do a short flyby of the runway, just so that we can see what's going on over there. There we are. We've got a beautiful orange sky now. So we'll fly around, have a quick look at that sunset after we've had a nice view of Shoreham. It looks like we've got some kind of a big group of buildings. That looks like it could be a military base of some kind. I know obviously along the south of England we have loads of military bases, and that sort of building layout is what you'd expect from a military base. Potentially a naval base or something like that. I've seen a couple of naval bases like that. A little bit of experience with naval bases, so. Okay, we're coming in nice and low here. We are, what, just under 1,000 feet. Have a nice little flight along the coast. Just to see what's going on, really. There's the airport somewhere over there, I think, maybe? Yeah, there it is, just coming into view. So there's our concrete strip. It's then got a grass strip here, and we have a grass strip running along there. Now that is what I'm going to be landing on, and that's what I've been alluding to the entire flight. I'm going to try and be landing on the grass strip. Now I've not done a grass landing or a grass takeoff before. It's going to be new for me. We're going to find out how it goes. Just checking out the scenery along here. It looks quite nice. Might take a little flight into the harbour. This is the harbour entrance just here by the looks. Let's pick up a bit of airspeed. Got plenty of fuel. I'm not worried about burning it all. Yeah, it looks like the harbour comes in here and then runs up the side. So that should get us nice and lined up for our approach. Actually, that might be a bit close for the approach. Let's turn in now. Fly over the harbour rather than in through the entrance. And just see what we can see. They have modelled this town very nicely, it's got to be said. Got the bridge, you've got loads of traffic all around. Loads of traffic, look at this. This game impresses me more and more every episode I do. Got all these houses and we're still at a very, very nice frame rate. I know obviously when I was in London the other day, the frame rate then was terrible, but I think that was just because the amount of planes that were there. You can see just the amount of moving cars we've got, the entities and the number of houses that it's having to draw. They have really done a good job on this game and this engine. Massive props. Right, let's turn around and we'll come in for our landing. I'm gaining a bit of altitude and I don't really want to. Bring ourselves around to get lined up on the runway. Now, I'm not sure if this runway has lights on it. Have a look. Let's get myself settled. It does not, but I can see the end of it just here. So, I need to make a turn to the right. Bring my airspeed down. Let's get a notch of flap on. And continue to bring down the throttle. See my airspeed really dropping now. There we are. There's the grass strip that we're landing on. It's going to have to be a nice and slow landing. Let's go straight into notch number 2 of flaps. Start to decrease my altitude. And then begin my turn in. Nice and gently. I am going to go full flaps for this landing. That's it. Okay, I'm happy with my alignment. Let's go full flaps now. Bring my airspeed right the way down. Okay, I'm sinking a bit too much. And I have drifted slightly off the centre line. Okay, no, we're looking good. I'm happy with this approach. Drifting slightly. Get it back in. Get it back under control. Okay, I'm landing long on the runway. I should have been down on the ground by now. It's a bit too much altitude, I think. Let's flare. Throttle to idle. And touchdown. Apply the brakes. And then we'll just roll off the runway. Looks like this is a dedicated taxiway just off to my left here. Little darker patch of grass. No traffic or anything. We're the only ones here. I probably should have had my landing lights on. And now I need my taxi lights. Oops. Still not very good with lights. I need to write myself checklists. Because if these guys come with checklists, I haven't been able to find them. So I'll have another look, but I'm pretty sure they don't come with checklists. I'm going to have to write my own. Let's actually flick the landing light off now. I'm on the ground. Turn into here. And we just taxi into one of these bays. Probably the right-hand bay. Use a bit of right brake. This might actually be a pedestrian road rather than a taxiway. I think it is. Never mind, we're going to stop at the end here. And apply the parking brake. Let's shut down the engine. Turn the alternator and battery off. Get all of our lights off. And take one final look outside. Oh, just as a train goes past. Look at that. Gorgeous. So, just to recap, this was a flight from... Let's grab the map open. So we flew from Echo Golf Victor Alpha via Charlie Papa Tango. We then went down to Mike India Delta, had a bit of a fly around the coast just here, performed a loop, and then came in to land on runway 25 at Echo Golf Kilo Alpha. I don't know how that is completely wrong. Echo Golf Kilo Alpha. I want to thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please let me know. Hit the like button. If you want to see more things like this and some other content on my channel, you can always subscribe. Thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.